Welcome back to our channel, Zero to English, the podcast dedicated to helping you achieve fluency one practical conversation at a time. We break down real-world English so you can speak confidently in any situation. If you love practical lessons like this, please remember to subscribe, like, and hit the notification bell for more videos. Hello, everyone. I'm Perry, and today we are tackling the biggest barrier to fluency, textbook English. You know what I mean. Those sentences that are grammatically perfect but sound like they were written by a computer in 1995.
And I'm Alan. It's so true, Perry. Most learners are taught to say, I am fine, thank you, and you? But in the real world, if you say that to a neighbor, they'll think you're a robot. Real English is about rhythm, contraction, and casual fillers.
Exactly. Today's topic is how to sound like a person, not a dictionary. We're going to look at the social glue of conversation. For example, the habit of using sentence starters to prepare the listener for what you're about to say.
Let's look at a scenario. We're meeting at a cafe. I'm going to use natural starters, and Perry is going to use textbook English so you can hear the difference. Hey, Perry. To be honest, I didn't think I'd make it on time. The traffic was a nightmare.
Textbook style. Hello, Alan. It is unfortunate that the traffic was bad. I have been waiting for 10 minutes.
Wow, Perry, that sounded very formal. In a real conversation, we wouldn't say it is unfortunate. We'd say, I know, right? Or tell me about it. These are empathy markers.
You're right. Let me try again with a more natural rhythm. I know, right? I was actually about to give up on you and order another latte.
Much better. Notice the phrase about to. We use this constantly to describe immediate future intentions. Instead of I was going to, about to sounds much more urgent and conversational.
And I used I know, right? This is a very common agreement habit. It doesn't actually mean you are asking a question. It's a way to say, I completely agree with your frustration.
We also need to talk about contractions. Textbooks teach I do not know. Real people say I don't know. Textbooks teach what are you going to do. Real people say what you gonna do.
If you want to sound natural, you have to let the words slide together. This is called connected speech. It's the habit of moving the end of one word into the start of the next.
Now let's dive into the messy side of English. One thing that makes learners sound stiff or robotic is the total lack of fillers. We are often taught in school that and are signs of poor speaking, but in real, fast-paced conversation, natural fillers like, I mean, actually, and you know are the gears that keep the machine moving.
That's such a good point, Alan. Fillers give your brain a microsecond to find the next word without creating an awkward silence. If you stop completely, the other person might think you've finished speaking and they'll interrupt. If you say, it was, a bit intense, you are holding the floor. You are signaling that you have more to say.
We also have to master the habit of hedging. This is the social art of making your statements less sharp or aggressive. Native speakers rarely say that movie was bad. It sounds too final, almost rude. Instead, we use softeners.
Let's look at a hedging scale. Direct, don't do this. I don't like this restaurant. Softened, I'm not a huge fan of this place, to be honest. Fully hedged. I mean, it's okay, but I feel like it's sort of overpriced, don't you think?
Notice how Perry used I mean and sort of. These are vague language tools. We use them to be polite. If you are too precise with your criticism, people might think you are difficult to please.
Let's simulate a thought processing conversation. Imagine we are deciding what to watch on Netflix. Listen to how we use fillers to buy time.
So, Perry, have you seen that new documentary everyone is talking about? The one about the deep sea?
Oh, let me think. I mean, I've seen the trailer, and actually, it looked kind of interesting. But I'm not really in the mood for something that heavy tonight. I was thinking maybe something a bit more like a comedy or something lighthearted.
I see where you're coming from. I mean, it has been a long day. Actually, now that you mention it, I think I saw a new stand-up special that just dropped yesterday. That might be more like it.
Oh, definitely. That sounds right up my alley.
Notice my use of actually. In English, we don't just use actually to correct a mistake. We use it to introduce a new idea or a change of heart. I thought I wanted pizza, but actually, let's get sushi.
And notice the filler kinda, pronounced kinda. This is the ultimate hedge. I'm kinda tired. It's kinda cold. It makes everything sound casual and relaxed. If you want to sound like a native, you need to sprinkle kinda and sorta into your daily speech.
Real conversation isn't a scripted movie. It's full of snags. You forget a word, someone's phone rings, or you accidentally speak at the exact same time as your friend. How a native speaker handles these moments is what defines their social intelligence.
If you forget a word, the textbook habit is to apologize and look panicked. The native habit is to use a placeholder. What's the word I'm looking for? It's on the tip of my tongue. You know, that thingy, the gadget for the kitchen?
Using thingy, whatchamacallit, or stuff shows that you are comfortable with the language. It tells the listener, I know the concept, I just can't find the label right now. It keeps the flow going.
But what about the double talk? This happens all the time in groups. You start a sentence and Alan starts a sentence at the same time.
In that moment, we have the politeness duel. Did you see? Oh, sorry, you go ahead. No, after you. I forgot what I was saying anyway.
This social dance is vital. Once the other person finishes, you need to know how to recenter. You can't just start your old thought. You use a return phrase. Anyway, as I was saying, where was I? Oh, right. Going back to what I was mentioning before.
Let's look at interrupting with intent. Sometimes you need to interrupt, perhaps to clarify something. You use a polite wedge. Can I just stop you there for a sec? Before you move on, I just wanted to ask. Sorry to chime in, but
Notice the word sec, which is short for second. In real English, we never ask for a minute. We ask for a second, a sec, or a moment. It sounds less demanding.
mastering these snags proves that you aren't just reciting a speech. You are truly interacting. It shows that you value the social harmony of the group more than just finishing your sentence. To have a 10,000 word level depth in conversation, you have to be able to tell stories. But storytelling in English isn't just a monologue, it's a collaborative effort.
This is where we talk about the information bridge. You can't just say, I went to the store, I saw a dog. You have to build suspense and emotion. You start with a hook. You'll never guess who I ran into. Or, so get this. Or, I had the weirdest experience yesterday.
Once you have the hook, you need the visual markers. We use like to describe feelings or actions. I was like, no way. And he was like, totally.
But while the story's happening, the listener has a job too. This is the habit of back-channeling. If you are silent while I tell a story, I will think you are bored or that you don't understand me. You need to provide constant, small verbal cues.
Let's simulate a disaster story. Perry is telling me about her travel problems. Watch my back-channeling habits.
So get this. We finally get to the airport, right? And the lady at the counter tells us the flight was overbooked.
No way, you're kidding.
I wish. So then she says the next flight isn't until tomorrow morning. We were literally stranded in the terminal.
Oh, that's brutal. I bet you were fuming.
I was. But then it turns out they gave us a voucher for a 5-star hotel right across the street.
Oh, well, that's a win. Every cloud has a silver lining, right?
Notice Alan's phrases, no way, that's brutal, and that's a win. He is painting the conversation with emotion.
If you want to sound like a native, you must learn these reaction packages. For bad news, that's a bummer. That sucks. I'm so sorry to hear that. For good news, that's awesome. Good for you. He must be thrilled. For weird news, that's wild. That's insane. No way.
If you use these reactions, people will love talking to you because you make them feel like their stories are interesting.
We have discussed safe topics like the weather, the office coffee, and the weekend. But let's be honest, if you stay on those topics for more than 5 minutes, the conversation starts to feel like a chore. A real conversation needs to go deeper. But how do you transition from, it's a nice day, to, what are your dreams for the future, without making the other person feel uncomfortable?
This is where you master the linguistic pivot. Think of a pivot like a bridge. You are standing on one side, small talk, and you want to cross over to the other side, real connection. To do this, you need a hook from the current topic to the new one.
The most natural way to do this is with the phrase, speaking of. Small talk. This rain is never going to stop, is it? The pivot. Speaking of the weather, do you actually prefer the rain, or are you one of those people who needs the sun to feel motivated? I find that I'm way more productive when it's gloomy outside.
See what Alan did there? He used a low-stakes topic, the rain, to ask a high-stakes question, what motivates you? This is how you layer a conversation. You start with the surface and you dive down one layer at a time.
Let's look at other pivot starters. That reminds me. Use this when something they said triggers a story or a deeper question. Wait, I've been meaning to ask you. This is a great pattern interrupter. It signals that you've been thinking about them specifically. On a completely different note, this is the emergency pivot. If the conversation is dying and the silence is getting awkward, use this to jump to a brand new, exciting topic.
Another vital habit for deep conversation is reciprocal disclosure. This is a fancy term for a simple social rule. If you want someone to be open with you, you have to be open with them. It's the social give and take. If you ask, what's the hardest part of your job? You should be ready to share the hardest part of your job, too.
Let's look at the value-based question. In English, we try to move away from what questions to how and why questions. Standard. What do you do for work? Boring, everyone asks this. Advanced. How are you finding the new role? Is it what you expected? Advanced. What's been the highlight of your week so far?
Notice the phrase, how are you finding? This is a real English classic. It doesn't mean, where is the job? It means, what is your opinion of the experience so far? It allows the other person to be honest. They can say, actually, it's been a bit of a steep learning curve, which opens the door for a much better conversation.
Let's simulate a deep pivot at a party. We start with the food and move to life goals.
These appetizers are actually pretty good. Have you tried the mini tacos?
I haven't yet, but they look great. Speaking of food, I heard you're a bit of a foodie. Do you actually enjoy cooking at home, or are you more of a find the best hidden restaurant type of person?
Definitely the restaurant type. I love the adventure of it. Actually, that reminds me, I'm thinking about taking a trip to Italy next year just for the pasta. Have you ever traveled specifically for a hobby or a passion like that?
Wow, Italy. I wish. I'm actually more of a staycation person, but I've always got my heart set on seeing the museums in Paris.
Notice how the conversation moved from mini tacos to life travel goals in less than 60 seconds. That is the power of the pivot. It's about finding the thread and pulling it.
We have reached the final part of our 10,000-word masterclass. We have covered the textbook traps, the fillers, the hedging, the story hooks, the back-channeling, and the pivots. But the big question remains. How do you make this a reflex? How do you stop thinking about the English and start living in it?
Mastery isn't about memorizing 10,000 words. It's about building muscle memory. Your brain is a muscle. If you only read English with your eyes, your mouth will never be fluent. You have to build the echo reflex.
This is a technique we call shadowing. When you are watching a movie or a YouTube video, like this one, don't just sit there. Become our shadow. When I say a phrase like, I see where you're coming from, you should say it out loud immediately after me. Copy my tone, copy my speed, and even copy my hand gestures.
You also need to practice the monologue habit. When you are alone in your house, maybe you're doing the dishes or driving to work, narrate your life, but do it using the natural fillers we learned today. Example. Okay, so get this. I'm about to start the laundry, but actually, I kind of forgot to buy detergent. I mean, it's not the end of the world, but it's sort of a bummer, you know what I mean?
This might feel ridiculous at first, but it is the fastest way to make kinda, sorta, and feel natural. You are training your brain that these words are safe to use.
Another vital step is the input audit. Stop listening to English for Beginners audiobooks. They are too slow and too perfect. Start listening to real podcasts where people interrupt each other, laugh, and use messy English. Listen for the snags and how they handle them.
Let's talk about the confidence threshold. To be a native-level speaker, you have to accept that you will be wrong 20% of the time. Native speakers make mistakes constantly. We say for 5 seconds, we forget our best friend's name, and we use the wrong grammar when we are tired.
The difference is that a native speaker doesn't stop and apologize for their existence. They just use a recovery phrase. Wait, let me rephrase that. What I'm trying to say is, actually, forget that. Here's the point.
We have provided you with the tools today. You have the sentence starters, the hedges, the pivots, and the back channels. This 10,000-word journey is your foundation, but the building is something you have to construct every day.
Don't aim for a perfect conversation. Aim for a connected conversation. If the other person smiles, laughs, and shares a story back with you, you have succeeded. It doesn't matter if you use the past perfect correctly. What matters is the connection.
Thank you so much for spending this massive amount of time with us. The fact that you stayed until the end shows that you have the consistency habit required to master this language.
We are so proud of your progress. Keep echoing, keep pivoting, and most importantly, keep being yourself in English.
We'll see you in the next episode for even more real-world tips.
Happy practicing and Happy New Year.
Goodbye for now.
Farewell.